Welcome back and Happy New Year. I am filming this on the 1st of January, so I'm getting in there early with my Happy New Year's. This video is going to be uploaded on Tuesday the 2nd of January, and then I will have my January TBR video up for you on Thursday, and then next week I'm hoping to get back to my Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. I didn't have any videos last week, but I'm sure you enjoyed the break between Christmas and New Year anyway, after having had a video from me every day for the first bit of December for Vlogmas. So I didn't read as much as I wanted to in December, but then I was never going to because we had Mum and Dad coming to visit, and Christmas and New Year and my birthday, which included a trip to Disneyland, as you'll know if you've watched that vlog. So I read, but the books that I read I really enjoyed, and I read ones from my TBR. I'm in the middle of a couple that I didn't finish, and a couple are still on hold from the library that I was halfway through, and I was waiting for them to come back around again, but they didn't actually come during the month of December, so I'm still waiting on those ones, so they may be part of my January TBR. I haven't decided yet. So let me tell you first of all about the books that I read in December. So I read quite a lot on my Kindle this month. I didn't realise until I actually sort of took stock, but yeah, I read quite a lot on my Kindle. I read the first part in the Random Acts of Kindness series by Victoria Walters. This is going to be a 4-part series, and the next part is coming out in February. I also read It Had to Be You by Kerry Staten, which came out at the very beginning of the month, and that was really good. That was really funny. And then I also recently read It Started With a Tweet by Annabelle, which came out in paperback on the 28th of December, so that's still fairly new, and my review of that will be up on the blog this week. I also read, as a combination of kind of ebook and audiobook, Some Kind of Wonderful by Giovanna Fletcher, which you know was on my December TBR anyway. And then I read one book entirely on audiobook, and that was the new Christmassy Carol Matthews, which is Christmas Cakes and Mistletoe. I want to say Magic, but it might be Mistletoe Night. I will check that. And then onto the physical books that I read. I did a buddy read with Hayley, so hopefully next week, if not next week, but maybe the week after, Hayley and I will put up our buddy video review of this book, because we've kind of discussed it over Snapchat and over other social media. We always end up talking over various forms of social media, and so we've got a lot to say about this book, so we're going to make a video about it, a bit like we did for our last buddy read, and that is You Me Everything by Catherine Isaac. This one isn't actually out until April, but everybody is reading this at the minute. There's so much hype around this. If you've got a proof copy of this, people are just reading it and devouring it straight away, and I really loved it, and Hayley really loved it, so we can see why. So this was one that I read at the very beginning of December, and as I say, the video review of this one will be up very soon in the next couple of weeks for you. And then a couple that I read as a kind of combo audiobook physical book as well, and now I'm going to show you the US cover of this one because I believe I used the UK cover in my TBR, so we'll give both covers equal audience. And this was They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Somebody did ask me why I was kind of reading a really sad book as the last book of the year, but I don't think this was an entirely sad book. It was really, really gorgeous, and if you've read it, then you will know why. A lot of people have been talking about it. There's been a lot of hype around this book, which is always a bit of a dangerous thing to go into a book when there's a lot of hype around it, but I just went in open-minded, and yeah, it was really lovely. And this book takes place over just one day, so that makes it really quite intense. And then one book that I read because I bought on Black Friday a signed copy of the second in the series of this book. So I got the first in the series out the library in physical form, and then my hold on the downloadable audiobook came through, so I did a bit of both with this book, and that is The Littlest Bigfoot by Jennifer Weiner. And so probably the second book in the series will be firmly on my January TBR, because these books are just lovely, and this one has a whole map inside as the end papers, which is nice. Unfortunately, you can't see all of the map because obviously it's a library book, so they like glue the dust jacket on. But yeah, a lovely end papers. I'll show you the end papers before they both die at the end as well, because it's lovely too. Gorgeous. I don't know if you can see that the clocks come down and become skulls there as well. Really lovely end papers, and I'm sure the books that I read on Kindle, some of those had lovely end papers as well. But yes. And then another book that I read as a physical book and audiobook combo, seems to be the way I've gone this month, but I had to take it back to the library because somebody had a hold on it, was All About Mia by Lisa Williamson. You know from my December TBR and my November TBR, I've been wanting to read that one for a while, and I listened to the audiobook and read a bit of the physical book in basically almost one sitting. I really enjoyed that one. Lisa Williamson books are just, she's one of my like new favourite authors. Like, I absolutely loved The Art of Being Normal, as you know from my top 10 YA books of the year and my top 10 books of the year in general, which I made a video about. That, yeah, I really love her books. And yes, that Carol Matthews book is Christmas Cakes and Mistletoe Nights, by the way. I just double checked on that one for you. So Thursday I'll have my January TBR up for you, and hopefully by Thursday I will have cracked on with my January TBR as well. I'm looking forward to some of the January releases that are coming out, and a couple of the books that were on my December TBR that I didn't manage to get round to, I'm sure will feature on my January TBR as well, because I've still got a few books on the go that I'm in the middle of. So look out for those. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and remember to click that subscribe button so that my January TBR will land in your subscription feed. I would love to have you on board. So I will see you on Thursday. Bye.